Every February 21st, the last plane takes off, leaving just 15 people stranded at the heart of Antarctica. No rescue, no sunlight for months, and temperatures colder than dry ice. Out here, minus 60 degrees Celsius air can freeze skin solid in seconds, while the record minus 89 degrees Celsius makes the outside world unreachable. How do they endure? The answer starts the moment that final engine fades into silence. On February 21st, the last plane lifts off from the ice, leaving behind a skeleton crew of just 12 to 15 people. The runway falls silent, and the station leader checks the manifest one final time. Each name on that list carries the weight of the next 6 months. No one in, no one out. From this moment, every problem, every emergency must be solved by those who remain. The world outside is sealed off by an unbroken wall of cold and darkness. At Concordia and Vostok, temperatures will soon plunge to minus 60 degrees Celsius and below, with the memory of Vostok's minus 89.2 degrees Celsius record always in the back of everyone's mind. The airstrip disappears in blowing snow. The horizon is empty. There is no backup, no rescue. Even satellite calls may cut out for hours or days. The station leader walks the halls, checking in with each team member. Scientists, engineers, the medic, the cook. Each one now essential. Every role overlaps, every person cross-trained, because redundancy is not just a design principle, but a survival rule. As the sun sets for the last time, a sense of finality settles over the group. The calendar is now a countdown to August, when the first plane might return. Until then, survival depends on preparation, discipline, and trust in the small group left behind. The doors are sealed, the engines quiet, and the Antarctic night begins. At minus 60 degrees Celsius, the air itself becomes an enemy. Crew diaries from Concordia describe the sensation. Step outside with thin gloves, and your fingers freeze almost instantly. One engineer wrote, "I lasted maybe 20 seconds before pain shot through my knuckles. I couldn't feel the radio button. It took 15 minutes to thaw my hands indoors. Frostbite doesn't wait." Below minus 40 degrees Celsius, exposed skin can be damaged in minutes. With wind, that window closes even faster. Metal tools turn treacherous. Touch a steel ladder or wrench with bare skin, and it burns like a branding iron, cold welding flesh to metal in seconds. Even a moment's distraction can mean blisters or worse. Crew members learn to test every handle with gloved knuckles first, never trusting anything that's been outside. Breathing is a lesson in pain management. Moisture in each exhale crystallizes midair, swirling into tiny ice fogs that sting nostrils and lips. Some describe the sharp ache as if needles are pricking the inside of the nose. In deep cold, nose hairs freeze together. A single breath can glue your nostrils shut. One technician's journal notes, "My beard froze solid. I broke off the ice, but the skin underneath was numb for hours. Nothing is left to chance. Gloves are checked for holes, zippers for gaps. Even the smallest mistake, one exposed fingertip, a forgotten scarf, can mean lasting injury." The cold is not just discomfort. It's a force that injures, scars, and punishes the unprepared. Every step outside is a negotiation with the limits of human endurance. From mid-May until late July, the sun never rises above the horizon at inland Antarctic stations. Each day blends into the next, marked only by the faint glow of civil twilight or the cold, unwavering darkness pressing against the windows. The absence of natural light disrupts every biological rhythm. Crew journals describe drifting into sleep at odd hours, waking to a clock instead of daylight, and losing track of time altogether. One scientist wrote, "After 2 months of night, I lost all track of hours. It was just task after task, punctuated by fading dreams." The mind adapts in strange ways. Vivid, sometimes surreal dreams become more common. Some recall dreams so real, they wake up disoriented, unsure if they are still in Antarctica or back home. The sense of time stretches and warps. A week can feel like a month, or vanish in a blur of repeated routines. Group mood swings are common. Some become nostalgic and withdrawn, others irritable or restless. The smallest ritual, a shared meal, a birthday, a new playlist, can anchor the crew, reminding them that the world still exists beyond the dark. Coastal stations fare a little better, with brief periods of twilight or softer cold, but even there the darkness weighs heavily. The long night is more than an absence of sun. It is a test of memory, patience, and the ability to find meaning in repetition. As days without daylight accumulate, the need for structure, artificial light, and shared purpose becomes as vital as food or warmth. Inside Concordia Station, survival depends on design that leaves nothing to chance. The two main towers, one quiet, one noisy, are joined by an enclosed bridge, each wall layered with insulation, rated for -80 degrees Celsius. Every seam is checked and sealed, and windows are triple glazed with argon gas, trapping warmth and blocking the bitter cold outside. Even a small breach could drop interior temperatures dangerously within minutes. The chief engineer leads a strict routine. Every 4 hours, day or night, a technician suits up and enters the generator room. Diesel engines run constantly, not just for electricity, but to provide the waste heat that keeps pipes from freezing and living spaces warm. Sensors monitor for leaks, but nothing replaces a human check. Fluid levels are measured, ice is chipped from ducts, and the faintest vibration or hiss is logged. If a generator falters, backup units stand ready. In an emergency, heat can be rerouted and spare parts swapped in by hand. The station's gray water recycling system, nestled within the heated tech tower, reclaims up to 80% of water from sinks and showers, using bioreactors and UV sterilization, all kept above freezing by the same waste heat that powers the lights. Every inspection, every safeguard, is a line between comfort and catastrophe. Breakfast begins with the chef plating stacks of buttered toast, thick slices of cheese, and bowls of pasta left over from the night before. Each meal is built for energy, not elegance. 3,200 to 5,000 calories a day, heavy on chocolate, biscuits, and canned meat. Early in the season, a handful of fresh lettuce or basil from the hydroponic garden appears on the table. The harvest is small, but the sight of something green in a world of white is its own kind of medicine. The kitchen is a hub of routine. Food manifests are checked, rations measured, and every calorie accounted for. Before anyone steps outside, discipline takes over. Crew members layer up: thermal underwear, fleece, windproof shell, insulated boots, mittens, goggles, face masks. Radios are checked, backup batteries stowed inside jackets to keep them warm. A buddy inspects every seam for gaps, no skin exposed, no zipper undone. The safety checklist is non-negotiable. Outside, work is split into short bursts, 5, maybe 10 minutes at a time, always with a partner and constant radio contact. Even a simple antenna adjustment or snow clearing means a timer is ticking. When the cold bites too hard, the crew hurries back inside, shedding ice-crusted gear in the entryway, breath steaming in the warmth. Every habit, every rule, is shaped by the knowledge that in this place, the smallest mistake can have lasting consequences. Medical emergencies in the Antarctic winter are met with a level of self-reliance few places on Earth demand. The lone station physician is responsible for everything from routine checkups to life or death surgery, with no possibility of evacuation for months. The story of Leonid Rogozov, who removed his own appendix at Novolazarevskaya Station in 1961, is a constant reminder of what might be required. Today, Concordia's medical kit is packed with surgical tools, anesthetics, broad-spectrum antibiotics, IV fluids, and a full range of psychiatric medications, enough to manage trauma, infection, or mental health crises. Manuals detail every emergency protocol, and daily telemedicine check-ins with doctors in Europe offer guidance, but the final decisions rest with whoever is on site. The psychological toll is just as real. Winter over syndrome creeps in. Sleep becomes fragmented, moods flatten, and memory slips. Crew members describe a sense of emotional hibernation, withdrawing from social contact as the darkness deepens. The station psychologist prescribes strict routines, scheduled exercise, regular meals, and group check-ins to counteract the effects. Even so, depression, irritability, and anxiety are common. Every person is trained to recognize signs of crisis, and peer support is as vital as any medication. In this isolation, the limits of endurance are tested not just by the cold, but by the mind's struggle to adapt. Each February 21st, as the last plane lifts off, 12 to 15 people remain at Antarctic research stations, cut off from the world for nearly 6 months. The record low of -89.2 degrees Celsius at Vostok stands as a reminder of the risks these crews face. This documentary has shown how survival is built on rigorous protocols: 4-hour generator checks, triple-glazed windows, and strict safety routines. Crews consume up to 5,000 calories a day to endure the cold, with fresh produce exhausted by early autumn. Medical self-sufficiency is mandatory, as evacuation is impossible until August. Yet, despite decades of study, the long-term psychological impact of total darkness and isolation is not fully understood. Some operational documents, especially on emergency protocols, remain restricted. What is clear is that every winter, human life in Antarctica depends not on heroism, but on careful planning, cooperation, and trust. The systems developed here inform survival strategies for extreme environments on Earth and beyond. Where the sun does not rise for months, people still find ways to work, endure, and celebrate being alive.